Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may He protect us both. May we both exert together. May we both enjoy together. May our studies become brilliant. May we not become disputatious and hate each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. Welcome to our online classes, Tattva-Bodhah. There was once a father come home from business. He's a businessman, absolutely stressed out in life, completely stressed out. His wife has left him because of his overwork, indulgence in his working capacity. His business was going down because some virus was there which was spreading, so his business was going down. He did not know what to do. He was completely depressed in life, and he survived with only a small baby, small girl. Girl must be around 5, somewhere on that, 5, 6, and just learning the words. So he had brought a game, I think so, Scrabble, where you put form words. So the girl was playing that, and she's looking at dad, and dad is sitting on the sofa, and he looked at all those words, and then he picked up some of the alphabets, and he just wrote on top, God is nowhere. God is nowhere. He just wrote it. The baby looked at that, and she smiled, and she also wanted to copy exactly like God. God is nowhere, without looking. So she covered her hand, and then she started writing God is, but that nowhere was a pretty big word for her age. She did not know what to do. So instead of that one word, she created 2 words, and she was extremely happy because it was not one more anymore. Nowhere, she created into 2 words, and she showed it to dad and said, Dad, look, I made 2, 1 out of 2 I made. Children get happy at every time. And the father just reluctantly looked at what she's done, and she's written, God is now here. At every given point of time, we have a attitude where we can see the world in a different way. And what we see in the world is completely our choice. Either we can say God is nowhere, not there, anywhere, missing. Why do good people suffer? Why do children die? Why do people live in unemployment? Why there is so much corruption, and people who are corrupt are always happy? They get all the riches. They enjoy life, and people basically who are poor are always said that you should have a little bit of values, take what the generation calls a middle class values, and they are meant to be happy with that without anything. Why is the world like this? Why it is that 1% of this country has 57% of the wealth and the rest of them have to clamor for everyday existence? Why? On one aspect we can say there is no God, there is no justice. On the second aspect we can say God is right here, provided we know how to see, what to see. That's what was the previous verse which we did. There is two identities created. One is the Jivatma and the other is the Iswara. And the Jivatma and Iswara are considered to be separate. Because Jivatma is from the microcosmic point of view and Iswara is from the macrocosmic point of view. That which created this whole cosmos, that which wields power over all this cosmos, whatever happens, is the Lord, is Ishvara, Isha. Whatever is there in the independent capacity, confined in this space of me and mine, is Jiva. And the last thing in that particular verse which is written is, therefore the notion that Jiva and Ishvara are different should not be accepted. They should not be accepted. Are they different? Is me, the individual confined in this name and form, different from God? Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Jesus, Muhammad, these great masters, Guru Gobind Singh, are we the same? Next verse. That's what the next verse is tackling. So let's do the verse. Verse 29. Inquiry into the Mahavakya. Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. But the Jiva with ego is with limited knowledge, whereas Ishvara is without ego and is omniscient. They being of opposing nature, how can they be the same as mentioned in the Mahavakya Tat Tvam Asi? This is the problem. Once a rat was completely harassed. Wherever it went, cats were chasing it. It did not know what to do. See, this is my existence. I can't even put my nose out. As soon as I put my nose out, suddenly a cat comes and starts hunting me down and I have to run back to the cover. Is this my life? Running around from things, every time frightened about everything that is happening. It went to a great rishi. This rishi was meditating in his small cottage. The rat bowed before the meditative rishi and said that, please, can you help me? She looked at the rat and said, what do you want? Tell me. I'm tired of living this life of fear and ignorance, afraid this will happen, afraid that cat will come here, cat will. Please, sir, make me into a cat. The rishi said, done. And he blessed the rat, and the rat became a cat. Lo and behold, then the cat went away, lived its catty life, and after a week, the rishi sees the cat coming and saying, I thought the cat's life was easier, but everywhere dogs are chasing me. Life has become hell. I don't know what to do. So can you make a dog? Because dog's life I've seen, people carry the dog with the leash and all, and it's quite happy. They get food to eat and they are considered to be man's best friend and all. Please, can you do that? No problems at all. Tathastu. The cat became the dog. It was on the by side of a village, just surrounding by jungles. After a week, the dog came and said, see, if I was living in a city where there were no woods and no trees, it makes more sense. But in this jungle, I did not know that I am the favorite food for the leopard. Leopard's favorite food is dog meat. I don't want to live in fear. Every time I'm looking out, saying that the leopard is going to come, leopard is going to come. Do one thing, make me a leopard. The rishi closed his eyes and made him a leopard. The leopard was happy. Now I don't have to fear anything, and went away. And after a week he said, but sir, when I am weak, if I am in trouble, the lion and the lioness can hunt me and they'll tear me apart. Make me a lion or a lioness. He was made into one. Then after 1 week he says, but man shoots me. He comes into the jungle and he shoots me with his gun and all this thing. And my life is always in danger. Make me a man. The rishi did. Tathastu, bless you, and made him back into a rat. The rat asked, why did you make me back into a rat? He says, because whatever I do, you will always have a heart of a rat. You are the Jiva, that Parameshwar which is taking care of the whole universe and the cosmos is called the Iswara. Remember, there is no difference between Jiva and Iswara, both are the same. But see, that thought is put into the student. But the teacher is asking, this is not the student asking, the teacher is saying, but there is a difference. Physically there is a difference. What is the difference? This Jiva is with ego associated with the body and looks very limited. While that Iswara is without ego and is unlimited. Omniscient, all-seeing, all-powerful. Jiva is limited, no power or very, very limited power. How are both of them same? It doesn't look like same. And yet the Mahavakya, there is a Mahavakya called Tat Tvam Asi, we will come to that very soon, which says that both are same. I don't understand. You are what you believe in. There is a beautiful movie. We see a lot of movies when we have offline classes, where I show it to the children's class also once in 3 months, which has got very good messages. Some of the movies have really great messages. And when you sing a particular song or when you see a particular scene in a particular movie, it resonates of Vedanta. I don't know how Vedanta creeps, it's universal, but it is there internationally. So when you look at a particular movie who may have no concept of what Vedanta is, yet the language is there, yet the content is there. The same kind of content in this movie is called Kung Fu Panda, where there is this panda which was very much interested in Kung Fu, fighting, but it did not know how to go about it. And accidentally it falls into a particular tournament, and one of the great masters, the master's name is Ogwi, a tortoise in that movie, and he says that you are the dragon warrior. And he's trained by a senior student called Shifu, a hare or a rabbit, and he's trained into that. And ultimately he says, you are going to be the dragon warrior. Enemy is going to come. One enemy is there, a big tiger, and he is going to come, and he is very, very arrogant. He's a great martial artist, but he has no sense of values. So to counter him, only you can counter him. He says, yes, what is it? He says, you have to be the dragon warrior. He says, yes. And it's a beautiful scene where he says, so if I become a dragon warrior, what will I do? I can hear a butterflies flying. I can do this. I can do a flip. I can do a kick. I can go to the mountain and start jumping from there. What can I do? What are the powers I can get? He says, focus. And then there is a scroll, and the scroll is given to this panda, and said, nobody can see except you. So you have to open and see. I also, that Shifu, the teacher, says, I also can't see because it's only meant for you. He opens the scroll. He sees it. And he's like, oh, he's already mentally prepared of what is going to be, so that power has come. And then he moves it everywhere and saying, it's nothing. So what? It's nothing. Look at that. So the other teacher also looks and finds out it's completely blank. It's not written anything. Just a sort of a reflective mirror where you open the scroll and you look at yourself. He says, how is that possible? How is the great teacher, that Ogui, did not write anything? There has to be some part. Then they say that anyway, it doesn't matter. There was nothing. And everybody tries to run away. They say they empty the whole valley. The panda's father is a duck, and it is making Chinese food, because so it's making Chinese food. That's his restaurant. And he has this soup which he makes. The whole town wants to know what he puts in that soup. It's so beautiful, and he always says there is a secret ingredient. There is a secret ingredient. It's beautiful, but he has never told anybody, including his son, the panda, what is the secret ingredient. So when the panda comes completely dejected and disappointed, saying, okay, I am not the dragon warrior because I can't make head of it, and that scroll had nothing to do with it, when he is also trying to leave town, the father suddenly says, I wanted to tell you something. And the panda says, yes, please tell me what is it, because he thought he can help. I always keep on telling you about the secret ingredient in my secret, that soup. Yes. Shall I tell you the secret? He was not at all interested in listening to the secret, because now he knows he's not that dragon warrior. He says, yeah, but he never felt put anybody down. So he says, yeah, Dad, okay, you can tell me the secret ingredient. He said, the secret ingredient of my soup is nothing. He said, nothing? He said, nothing. To make something special, all you have to do is believe in it. It hits the panda. It hits the panda. He removes the scroll from his pocket. He looks at his own reflection and says, there is no secret ingredient. All you have to do is believe in yourself. He runs all the way there, and there he meets that enemy, a very ferocious tiger. And he says, I am the dragon warrior and I have come to fight you. So the tiger looks at, smilingly at that panda and says, what are you going to do? You are just a panda. Are you going to sit on me? And he starts laughing. You are just a panda. And this panda says, no, I am not just the panda. I am the panda. I am not a dragon warrior. I am the dragon warrior. I am not a human being amongst millions and millions of others. I am the human being. When you have that attitude that you are special, when you have the attitude that you are a work of art, do you know something? There is nobody in the world like you. Nobody has gone through the pains and suffering as you have done, physically and mentally. You are absolutely special. Says the Upanishads, you are Iswara. Says the Vedanta, says the Tattva-Bodhah, all the textbooks. You are that. Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. Provided there is a very small difference between a panda and the panda. There is very small difference between I am a human being and I am the human being. A person and the person. A teacher and the teacher. A student and the student. Very simple difference is there, but that difference makes the person. So either every time, which we usually do, we sit and keep on crying. This happened, that happened, always playing the victim of what the world does to me, constantly. And such a person is groveling every time, crying over everything, understanding that he or she is just a limited personality, completely identifying with one's ego, identifying with one's physical personality, and deeming oneself or deemed oneself into thinking, I am just an individual. To such a person who thinks he is just an individual, the Shastra says, you are not a individual, you are the individual. So what is needed? A change in perception, a remembrance of who you are, that infinite potentiality in each one of us to reach for the skies, to do the best what we can without any comparisons with anyone around. And we are trained to compare. Right from childhood we are trained to compare. We are confined into this Jivatma and say, this is what you are. Remember, this is what you are. Every time, right from the childhood, in the sports day, I was put a spoon, and in the spoon there was a lemon, and the spoon was put into my mouth and said, run beta, run. When I was 5-year-old, there were 8 or 10 people with me, and all of us started running with the spoon and the lemon should not fall down from the spoon. Some children run beautifully and they come first. Some children come second, third, and there is always one child who doesn't want to run. It doesn't start only. There is another child which has started, but the lemon fall down. So it fell in, it holds the lemon and looks out for the parent where it is. Each one is different, and at that age, I am taught a valuable lesson that beta, you should come first. Always. I am put into this race, and that race goes on, even in adult life. How much is your earnings? Per month बोलिए ना कितना मिलता है? Compare. Which car you have? Compare. By the way, what is your qualification? Compare. How big is your house? Is it a 1-room apartment, 2-room? Oh, I live in a 3-room. Oh, I got a huge bungalow here. Comparison. I got so much gold ornaments. You don't have any ornaments. You don't wear any. Comparison. Oh, your children are so qualified. Is it? They are in America. Yes. One is in Jakarta. Yes. The third one, oh, he is in Greece. Acha. What about the daughter? Oh, she is in Canada. Comparisons. Which school the child is going to? Is it going to an SSC school, SLSC, or is it going to CBSC or whatever? I don't know. And the other, is it going to international IB school? IB school is like this. Comparison. We love comparison because that is one thing where my ego gets triumphed and it puts everyone and everybody in its vicinity down. Which classes are you attending? Oh, I am doing Tattva-Bodhah. Who is the teacher? So and so person. I have heard him or her. Yeah, okay. But you know which teacher I go to? So and so. Lakhs of followers. You know how many likes the person has? How many likes? You know how many people are subscribed? There's so big ashram. My God, huge ashram. What kind of costumes he is wearing, what kind of throne he is sitting on. So many people love him all over the world, all over the world. We are so accustomed to comparison that thank God we can't see our kidneys. Otherwise we would have compared the two kidneys, which kidney is better and which I should throw away. Thank God we don't see that. We love comparing from student to teacher to husband, wife, children, parents, everybody we compare. And it keeps on confining us into more and more smaller and smaller compartments in life. And the more confined you are in these compartments, you can never be happy. I am a vegetarian, I am a non-vegetarian compartment. I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim compartment. I am a Sikh, I am a Christian compartment. My book is this, your book is that compartments. And unbelievable as it sounds, all the religion teach you to break the compartments. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself, says a great man, Jesus Christ. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. There cannot be any difference with my love to myself and my love to neighbor. It's the same. It's the same. And yet, I genuinely feel that if they come to me or my way of religion, they'll be more happier. If you don't follow my religion, I'll cut you off by sword, by sugar, by giving ration, by giving help of medical. I am so insecure in my way of what religion is that I have to bring others and say that this is what you are. Remember, don't forget you are a Hindu. Don't forget. Don't forget you are a Muslim. Your identity is you are a Muslim. Don't forget you are a Sikh. Why can't I forget? There is nothing wrong in remembering. I respect all ladies, all mothers are worshipful. I have certain duties towards my mother, biologically being born to her, and therefore a little bit of preferential attitude of how she is there. I need to take care of her, fair enough, but that doesn't mean my love for other mothers is any less. But we have the demarcation. Everywhere the demarcation. So one is Jiva, which is limited, which has got ego, which is body centric, and the other is Iswara, no body, no centric, nothing, no ego, and they are looking so different. And the more you look at this difference, the more we have to study, because throughout the study they say there is no difference between the two. And it is put in this shloka, exactly this shloka. All you have to do is remember. See, in the Ramayana, Hanuman had great powers, extreme powers. He can do anything. When they were standing on the beach of Rameshwaram and they were looking at, they came to know that Sita is at that end. She is in Sri Lanka. Ravana has captured her. How to go there? To find out whether she is there or not. You can't just send an army, and if she is not there, then what? So somebody needs to confirm. So each and every monkey started giving their credentials. I can jump so many yojanas. Yojanas is kilometers. So I can jump so many kilometers. I can jump so many. Angad came, Wali's son, and Angad said that I can jump around 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers or 40 kilometers. Everybody were pouring their credential except one guy, Hanuman. He was silent. He looked at everybody. So Jambavan, the minister, he asked everybody, what is your credential? Wrote down, who can go and see. It's like a picnic, paid tour, So he'll go and see. And they looked around, and Jambavan looked at Hanuman and said, what about you? He said, no, I can't fly. I can't jump that much. In fact, Angad can jump better than me. Jambavan laughed and said, oh, you can't fly? I said, no, I can't. Have you ever tried? No, I know I can't fly. Then Jambavan reminds him that in childhood he was flying and he did some mischief. I don't want to get into the story of it. And the person who cursed him was, you will forget that you have this gift And when some person, wise person, after a later life reminds you of the gift, then you will remember. Till then you will forget. And he forgot that he can fly. So Jambavan reminded him and said, now is the time. You can fly. He said, but I don't know how to. He said, just jump in the air and will that you have to go there. That's it. Rest will be taken care of. Hanuman said, seriously, I have never done that. Said, no, just do it. And he had faith in Jambavan. He jumped and said, Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, some higher. And he, as soon as he said that, he started flying. He came to know his power. Your power is immense, infinite in nature. And that infinite in nature needs to have a direction going to a particular place, a higher ideal, a higher goal in life, where my egocentric attitude of me and mine are not involved. Hanuman was not flying to see his wife, he was not married. He went there to see Sita, Sita Mata, not even Sita. For him it was Sita, Mother Sita. He didn't see anything else. And he went there to see Mother Sita. Why? Because Shri Rama's, Ramchandra's wife. And he's met Ramachandra, the most pious of all. Says, I want to get into this endeavor and help what I can. The story is, he literally burnt half the Lanka and came out. He could have got Sita on his back and brought back again. He could have burnt the whole Lanka and Ravana would not have done anything. But he did not. He wanted to show Ravana that if you think a small messenger like me can do this stuff, the main guy is coming behind, man. Wait, you just wait. This attitude of giving for an idea. So the idea is, we have forgotten who we are. And that's where these great Mahavakyas come into our life. The first, there are 4 Mahavakyas. There are 4 Vedas, for all that you know. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharvana Veda. In all these 4 Vedas, what the great masters have done is they have picked up Mahavakyas. Vakyas statement, Maha, great. In Hindi. Yeah. So, Mahavakyas, great statements are pulled from these 4 Vedas. First statement, Prajnana Brahman. This is from Aitreya Upanishad in Rig Veda. Then the second, I will explain to you this. The second is Tat Tvam Asi. This is from Chandogya Upanishad, Sama Veda. Third is Ayam Atma Brahma. Ayam Atma Brahma is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad of Yajur Veda. And the fourth is Aham Brahmasmi. This is from Mandukya Upanishad in Atharvana Veda. You don't need to study which Upanishad and which Veda. You can just understand these are the great textbooks and understand what are these 4. Out of that, Tat Tvam Asi will be doing it very soon. But the 4, understand a statement where a student does not have the intelligence to find out what that reality is. He is not capable enough to understand. So he goes to this great master sitting in perhaps in one of his caves in the Himalayas or forest or one of the flats anywhere or ashram, it doesn't matter. He goes to the master is sitting, kept his eyes open, is looking everywhere into nature, he is in a world of his own. The student is sitting down. There has to be always a gap between the student and the teacher. The teacher is supposed to be sitting on a higher table than the student so that he can see. Knowledge always flows from the higher plane to the lower plane. Okay. Lower plane, why? Because it shows the student looking up to the teacher, shows devotion to the teacher. Okay, it's not that the teacher is looking down at the student. Okay, it's just an attitude of knowledge flowing. So you are humble enough as a student to learn the knowledge. So it's always on a different platform. The teacher is in his own wavelength. He looks around and makes this great statement of declaration. Prajnana Brahman. Brahman, the supreme reality, is everywhere. It's everywhere. You open your eyes, it's everywhere. Divinity is everywhere. Provided I have the eyes to see it. We have the eyes, provided we want to see it. Are you the dragon warrior? It's like that. Provided you want to see. Prajnana Brahma. And he is reveling, the teacher is reveling in that statement. Everywhere he looks, every person he contacts reminds him of that divinity. हर तरफ सिर्फ खुदा ही खुदा है, कोई इंसान इस शय से न जुदा है, says Ram Tirtha. Everywhere I look, it's only God and God everywhere. There is nobody else in the world. Everywhere. Each and everybody is so passionate about it. Everybody is so good to each other. Something happens in one corner of the world and people rush to help. If some cut is there in my physical body, immediately the powers within rush to make it a clot so that it doesn't bleed to death. Every aspect there is somebody to help from somewhere, unknown quarters. If that is not divinity, I don't know what is divinity. Prajnana Brahma, it's there. And from that state, he closes his eyes, he is enjoying, and he opens his eyes, he sees the student. And the student is enjoying the teacher's vision. He is enjoying the teacher's vision, but he has not got the vision. He is waiting for the teacher to explain something. All is Brahman. Yeah, I know, but I am Jiva, you are Iswara. I don't know. But still I am there at your feet, if you can. The teacher looks and the teacher gives the student this beautiful statement. Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. You, the Jiva whom you think you are that. Tat Tvam Asi. A statement, Upadesha Vakya, a statement of fact, advice. Then the student is asked to go and practice, and he practices. Each and every activity in the world he does, staying with his family or not, staying in the ashram or not, wherever experiences he encounters in the world, he is constantly thinking about I am that. I am Atma Brahma. This Atman is Brahman. There is no difference. I am that supreme reality. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma. Every time is constantly chanting. I am not this limited personality. I am the Supreme Self. I am not this conditioned consciousness. I am the unconditioned super consciousness. I am not this body, mind and intellect. I am that power. Mano buddhya hamkara chittani naham. I am not the chitta, I am not the man, I am not the buddhi, I am not the ahamkar. Nacha shotra jive, nacha grana. I am not the space, I am not the fire, I am nothing. I am not the five matter, dhatus. Vyoma, bhumi, na tejo, na vayu. I am not the five elements. Then who are you? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. I am Shiva. I am the gods. I create all experiences. If I want, I can destroy any experiences and move on and further create. And in this constant cycle of creation and destruction, my whole life experiences is maintained. I am that supreme power. When he continuously chants, I am Atma Brahma, I am Atma, he understands, oh my God, I am that supreme self. There is nothing outside. So each and every temple, each and every church, each and every mosque, each and every gurudwara, wherever they have put God's so-called idol or books or photographs, they are nothing but a reflecting medium to reflect my true self, which is already there within me. दिल में है तस्वीरें यार, जब जरा गर्दन झुकाई देख ली. I have a photograph or the image of that Lord in my heart. When I just go, I see the God. I don't need to see anything else. It is in me. In fact, it is not in me, it is me. I don't have any separate identity than that. I am Atma Brahma turns into, oh my God, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma. I am that supreme reality. I am just not a normal person doing routine work, taking care of my family, taking care of my wife and children, and trying to do good in the society in my limited capacity. No. I am that supreme reality, the greatest power which is not identified with this body consciousness. So whatever happens to the body doesn't happen to me. The body will go through its rigors and pain. I will experience that. Pain is very, very slow, difficult to bear. But even this shall pass away. This is a beautiful poem. I will go over that and move on. But that is not permanent. It's temporary. My mind, the station where my mind is at present, is temporary. It keeps on changing, becoming better and better and better. At every given point of time, I have a point of evolution and a point of devolution. I can put myself down and go back to my basic or baser instincts, or I can rise myself to a level of these great masters who have achieved their total sense of freedom. Aham Brahmasmi. So here he gives the reference of Tat Tvam Asi. Tat, that, Tvam, you, Asi, are or is. You are that. That you are. So on one aspect the Mahavakya says that you are, but actually the Jiva is conditioned, limited, and the Iswara is unlimited, unconditioned. We move on to the next verse. If asked thus, the answer is no. The literal meaning of the word thou is one's identification with gross and subtle bodies. But the implied meaning of thou is the state of samadhi, pure consciousness free from all the conditionings. In the same way, one who is omniscient, that Ishvara, pure consciousness free from all conditionings, is said to be that. Thus, from the standpoint of awareness, there is no contradiction between Jiva and Ishvara. But being said so, if it is asked thus, therefore I said the previous verse is not a question by the student. The teacher, because students sometimes they don't ask questions at all. They are in a different world of their own. They have not like a teacher used to put this very beautifully. If you have understood that there is your original identity, which is considered to be the permanent factor in you, the self, and that you are, that's what you are, your original identity. And we have not understood, I have not understood my original identity, and I have misunderstood my identity to be something else in this different name and form, just because I have a gross body. I have misunderstood who I am. Once you come to know who you are really, your world will change. The carpet will be pulled from under your feet. That kind of shaking will happen into your life. That kind. So for that, the student needs to constantly, every class I keep on saying, constantly needs to inquire, to ask questions. How is this? How is, and every question is, but this is happening. Why am I attached? What is the difference between attachment? All these concepts needs to be cleared. Get into the definition. That's what Tattva-Bodhah is all about. Full of definitions. Get into that and slowly understand what you are and give up what you are not. That can only happen when you have an inquiring mind, when you start questioning. If asked so, that both of the body, mind and intellect and Jiva is different, Iswara is different, then isn't it a contradiction between the Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art, that you are? Isn't that no, there is no problem. There is no contradiction. Why? Because everything has two meanings. One is the implied meaning, the other is called the dictionary meaning. My wife's face is like the moon is one statement. The dictionary meaning is moon is full of holes and craters, therefore my wife's face is full of craters. This is dictionary meaning. Implied meaning is, just as the moon is so beautiful in the sky and it reflects the light from the sun, similarly my wife reflects the light of divinity onto me in a nice, kinder and calmer attitude. That's the difference. That's where the analogy simile ends. My house is at the sea doesn't mean it's in the sea. It means by the side of the sea. So everything has these two meanings. One is the dictionary meaning and the other is the implied meaning, what it means. I am short, I am tall, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, I am a Christian, I am a Sikh. All these are varieties, differences in the world. They qualify a person. They qualify a person. But when you say, I am God, God is not a qualification. God is what you are. So if asked thus, if the inquiry comes and asks thus, then understand that when the dictionary meaning of you is body conscious, individual, body conscious. But when we look at the implied meaning, things change. Implied meaning, things change completely. So the body conscious is no more, and from the standpoint of awareness, there has been no body. From the standpoint of the seed which is planted and it sprouted and it's become a big tree, it's a tree. Even though a child can give names to all the branches, The child can give names to leaves, color them different colors and give it its own identification. Yet from the tree's point of view, there is no difference with all the branches and leaves. They are all part of one. There is no difference. So from the standpoint of awareness, there is no difference. There is no Jiva, there is no Paramatma. There is no infinite, there is no finite. You cannot segregate and compartmentalize the infinite into finite positions. As soon as you give a name and form or segregate the infinite, then the definition of infinite does not stand. Definition of infinite is you can't measure it, it is not finite. So only through ignorance can I divide the infinite and say this part of the infinite is me, is this name and form. Not understanding the infinite as infinite, the Parabrahman, I have assumed an identity, a different name and form, and lived a very limited, conspicuous life of suffering and agitation, misunderstanding myself to be finite. I am not the all-pervading. I am not God. We are all human beings. We all do mistakes. दुख और सुख तो साथ साथ में है ना. Can't be all happy every time. We put these limited statements and tie ourselves to what we understand as this Jiva Atma. There is no difference between Jiva and Iswara. There is nothing. Then why this happened? Because of misunderstanding that I am the Jiva. A caterpillar moving on in the tree, eating its whole life. Why it is eating? Whole life is only eating and evacuating, eating and whole life. What else is there? The caterpillar has a mission. It keeps on eating, but it sees constantly something flying over its head. So beautiful, my God, what color, what wings, what width, what way of flying. Beautiful moth flying everywhere. M-O-T, not the Hindi moth. Flying everywhere. I say, nature is so unfair, I tell you. Says the caterpillar. Here, look, I can't even move on a particular twig. I keep on following. So fat, so bulky, so lethargy. Whole life is just eating. Nothing else in my life. And look at that person's life. Nice, flying around, enjoying life. The moth looks down at the worm and says, boss, you are me. There is no difference between both of us. Yeah. You are flying. Can you see? I don't even know what fly ka spelling hai. I am sticking to this particular branch and that's going to be my whole life. Just eating, nothing else. My life is gone. It's waste, yaar. You are me. Thousands of caterpillars are there. Thousands of moths are talking. You are me. I was that once upon a time. One caterpillar, some stray caterpillar, looks up and says, seriously? Really? Like, I just want to question. So if I try, I can become like you. Yes. I can fly. Yes. I'll have wings. Different colors. Yes. What I should do? Tell me. I'll do it. Whatever you say, I'll do. I want to experience that life of flight. rather than frightened on a particular twig. I want to experience that life. The moth says, in your system, you have a thread which comes out of your mouth. Yeah, sometimes it comes out. Create that thread, tie yourself under the twig and cocoon yourself. Put that thread all around you and cocoon yourself with that. With that, what will happen? Do it? No. Something fantastic will happen. What will happen? You will not contact the world. You will not contact other caterpillars who keep on saying that this is the way we have to live life. You will start not identifying with those caterpillars at all. Get that junk out of your head that you are a caterpillar. Don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to TV. Don't listen to news. Don't listen to all this blaring around you. You are not the caterpillar. But I need to physically say, yes, separate. Mentally separate. Get away from it. An hour in a day, keep yourself away from all the junk that is dipped inside your head. Okay. Slowly, 1 out of the 1,000 caterpillars which heard turns itself under the twig and cocoons itself. And from that, it's very confined, limited space for the caterpillar, and it gets very irritated. Something is happening. It doesn't know what is happening. Ultimately, it's completely frustrated with that kind of imprisonment, self-confined imprisonment, and starts breaking free. And lo and behold, it's got beautiful colors, it's got a beautiful span of wings, and it takes to flight. What was the difference between the caterpillar and the beautiful butterfly or the moth? One caterpillar out of millions decided to take a chance to listen to a particular butterfly or moth, decided to practically implement the knowledge by not listening to other caterpillars, weaving itself within a web, cocooning itself with further studies, further analysis of what is this life, what are these experiences, and can I, with proper choice, have better experiences in life. The change occurs. It looks dramatic, but it is a change. It takes time, it takes effort, but the change is there. Divinity is everywhere. The Mahavakyas are everywhere. Oh, that's from the Upanishads, sir. The Mahavakya and all these Upanishads. You said Aitreya Upanishad. You also said Chandukya Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Brahadika. All these Upanishads. So we have to study all the nothing. You don't have to study all these Upanishads. Don't become a Pandit. Don't need to show your knowledge to the world who you are. Just control your own ego, control your own anger and agitation, and find out what is causing it. Divinity is everywhere. In the movies you see Mahavakyas. I'll tell you some Mahavakyas. One Mahavakya from Hindi movies, because Hindi movies is everywhere in India. So one Mahavakya. Jo dar gaya, the rest you know. Samjho mar gaya. One Mahavakya. Anybody who is frightened about life will die, and die very, very badly, agitated way. Second Mahavakya. Success के पीछे मत जाओ, excellence के पीछे जाओ. Success अपने आप पीछे आएगी. Second Mahavakya. Third Mahavakya. सब एक रेस में लगे हैं कि लोग अपनी उंगली बड़ी कर दो दूसरी उंगली से, खींच के नंबर 1 कर दो कि वो उंगली टूट ही ना जाए. You try to make something perfect until you break that child. Continue doing it from one more movie. This is all your homework. You find out which movies. Fourth, हमारी छोरियां कुछ छोरों से कम है क्या? These lines are the Mahavakyas. Nowadays, there's nothing wrong. Mahavakyas is a great statement which sticks to you and makes you understand that life is really beautiful if you have a right way of looking at it. If not, whole life will be focusing between I am this Jivatma, I am the conditioned personality, this is my physical body, I am living in this world, I need to take money from here, I need to give money. Whole focus will be that only, and you will die miserably. The worst part is that, because the focus and indulgence is something different. Get away from that. Don't think the dictionary meaning of the scriptures. See the implied meaning of what these great rishis and masters want to tell you, what they want to educate. What can this simple lowly caterpillar can do to attain the state someday of that beautiful moth or a butterfly like some of the great masters? We'll promise to do that. Thank you very much. Oh.